A season on the brink. Down 3-0 in the series. 2 straight overtime losses. And facing the league's greatest netminder. The deck was always stacked against the Senators, but the odds haven't meant a whole lot this year in the nation's capital.
Gilbert, up off the boards. CC knocked it down, works it out. Mike Hoffman with the goal. The Senators take the lead.
Now, the series is back in Montreal, with the Habs looking to rid themselves of a team that have lived on the edge for months. One more win is all it will take. Which side will history shine on tonight?
Hello, Canada and hockey fans, United States and Newfoundland.
Montreal Canadiens are the hockey champions.
Stanley Cup champion, New York Rangers. Los Angeles Kings have won the Stanley Cup. Let them enjoy the moment.
Anything is possible, why not us? That's what Ottawa Senators fans are saying to themselves as they make their way in with the Montreal Canadiens fans to the Centre Bell in the city of Montreal, Quebec tonight. Dale Weiss, the hero of Game 3, just getting into it. Getting into the mood, got it feeling in them shoulders. Ottawa has scored the first goal in each of the games so far. Montreal has never blown a 3-0 lead in the Stanley Cup playoffs, while Ottawa hopes to change that and become the 5th team in the history of this glorious league of ours to actually pull that feat off. A lot to get into tonight. My name is George, here with Nick Kiprios, Kelly Rudy, Elliot Friedman, Ron and Don are here as well. Lots of action. We'll take you to New York secondarily, but let's start with David Amber in Montreal. Take it away, David.
All right, George, you said it. Here we are, Game 5 in Montreal. The Habs return home. They say they're calm, they're confident despite that Game 4 loss, but there are some reasons for concern. The anemic power play, 1 for 16 thus far, that's a problem. You mentioned it, the Senators have scored first in each game this series. The Habs have led for a grand total of 43 minutes in this series. And let's not forget about Craig Anderson, guys. Comes in, plays the last 2 games, 75 saves on 77 shots. He was the guy who eliminated Montreal in the playoffs 2 years ago. Still, Brendan Gallagher said, we've been here before, we have playoff experience, we're comfortable where we are. By the way, Alex Chiasson draws in, Chris Neil draws out for the Sens. George?
All right, thank you very much, David. So everybody's been saying you don't beat Carey Price 4 games in a row. What can Ottawa do to try to do that?
Well, first of all, you love Mike Hoffman's shot, but you're not beating him out from 30 feet. He sees most of it, and you're going to have to find a way to create that traffic that you saw the other night. And you've got to be in a position now not only to get traffic in front of, and we saw Zibanejad. And if I'm Dave Cameron, I'm showing this video the last 24 hours. This is the way you beat him. And Gilbert was late on the check, but nonetheless, Carey Price couldn't see it. And then you got to create second and third opportunities. Because like we said, with a save percentage of what Carey Price had all year, it's hard to beat him.
Elliot?
Quick addendum, and a player on another team said too, if he was Ottawa, the change he would make is sometimes on Price, you have to shoot for the rebound, not shoot to score.
And Brendan Gallagher has to be that guy that we're used to seeing. He plays the game the right way, and that's usually right in the goaltender's crease.
Every game the Ottawa Senators play that remain in the first round for them will be an elimination game. The same is true for the Pittsburgh Penguins as they face it tonight against the New York Rangers. They're in Madison Square Garden where Christine Simpson is now. Chris?
Thanks very much, George. Yeah, the Rangers have 3 chances to close out this series. Their first chance comes here tonight, and for Alain Vigneault, he wants to see a much better start from his team. The usual mild-mannered coach apparently lit into his team after the first period of Game 4 last game because they had just managed 2 shots on net. We'll see if the message came through loud and clear. As for the Pittsburgh Penguins, if they are going to win this series, they will need to do something they haven't since late February, and that is win 3 straight. During warm-up, Evgeny Malkin was on the wing. We'll see if that's a change Mike Johnson's making tonight. George?
Thank you very much, Christine. So, the Rangers-Penguins game from the Garden is going to be on Sportsnet. Darren Millard, Damian Cox, John Shannon, and PJ Stock will give you that. Sportsnet, that's what you get next. CBC, you get the Sens and the Canadiens and opening face-off.
What a great way to start the weekend. Playoff hockey in Montreal. The Canadiens looking to advance. The Senators looking to keep their season alive. What a series we've seen so far. The Senators say all the pressure's on the Canadiens now. The Canadiens say, hey, we've got a 3-1 series lead. And let's remember, though, this Senators team, one of the youngest in the league, 9 players, 24 years of age and younger, but they say they thrive under pressure. Mark Stone went as far as to say, we've been in this situation before. We know how to respond. He said, we faced elimination every game for the last 2 months. We know how to respond. And that is true. On February 10th, they were 14 points out of a playoff spot. Can they keep their season alive for at least one more night as they try to stave off elimination? Michel Lacroix, the PA announcer, will set us up for the national anthem.
Mesdames, Messieurs, veuillez maintenant vous lever, retirer chapeaux et casquettes pour l'interprétation de l'hymne national par Madame Ginette Renaud. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your hats and caps for the singing of our national anthem by Ginette Renaud, accompagnée à l'orgue par Madame Diane Bibeau.
Au Canada, terre de nos aïeux, ton front est ceint de fleurs glorieux, car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for
thee. Would you be at all intimidated coming into a city like this, a building like this? Well, not the Ottawa Senators. They say no, not intimidated, invigorated. Facing a good team in a great building with fantastic tradition. What a night this could be. Craig Anderson feeling the pressure. He did not win more than 2 games in a row throughout this season. The last time he won 4 in a row was December of 2013. A large task ahead of him and the Senators. Carey Price at the other end has been, well, Carey Price, best goaltender in the world. Razor sharp so far in these playoffs. You cannot tell the Salvation Army there's no salvation. You can't tell a professional athlete that there is no chance. They believe. Oh, yes, they do. Great to have you with us tonight. Hockey night in Canada. Paul Romanuk, Mike Johnson by my side. Glenn Healy down at ice level. A night of anticipation. Markov moves it in. It's going to come up and around to Subban. Tries to fire it in. Gallagher, Platanec, Galchenyuk out there for Montreal. Puck is fired up over the glass and in amongst the spectators. Turris, MacArthur, and Stone out there to start for Ottawa.
And Montreal wanted to build on the energy of the crowd with their 3-1 lead and take advantage right off the start. And Brendan Gallagher jumping right in on a forecheck. Galchenyuk in support. And Ottawa knows this. They're trying to survive and weather the first 5-8 minutes of this game. But
Peugeot out there in the face-off, wins the draw back cleanly. Mathot trying to fire it through. That was blocked on the way through. Here comes Prust. He's going to roll towards the slot. Mathot moves it away. Prust up there after it. Prust out there with Mitchell and Flynn. Here's Prust. looking around. Hands up, everybody who had Mitchell and Flynn as the leading forwards so far. And they're buzzing around right off the bat, looking to add to their offensive totals. Puck comes up, Peugeot trying to come in, knocked away. Ottawa, too many men. Yep.
Not the start Dave Cameron was looking for. He knew it would be loud, it would be fast. And less than a minute into the opening period, Ottawa goes down a man for a too many men on the ice period, or penalty. And second line follows the first one. Good physical play by Torrey Mitchell, who's taken his fair share of hits in this series, delivers one to Peugeot. Ottawa doesn't get a puck in deep. Puck comes right back by their bench mid-change, and Montreal to the power play.
Montreal power play has been brutal. You've heard all about it. The last game it was 0 for 3 with 5 shots. See if they can get it unstuck. They get the early chance. Walking up, Markov wires one. And it comes down off the netting, actually on top of the net, so play is whistled down.
Ottawa is doing a very good job killing penalties, not letting Montreal get set up once they dump it down, but off a scrambled draw, they are going to take PK Subban away. Watch McCulloch here. He has a choice. He can take away Markov or take away Subban. He takes off and gives Markov the center lane, trusting that they'll stop his shot, not letting Subban beat them that big one time.
No, Anderson couldn't get it out there. Subban knocks it up. Here's Pacioretty. Back for Subban. Works it across. Pacioretty was lurking down there, so was Smith-Pelly. Puck cleared down the ice, and now we get some changes. Desharnais still out there. Pacioretty on the wing. Gallagher's out. Here comes Markov. Negotiates the blue line. Gallagher hustling up there after it. Desharnais feeds it back to the line. Subban. Desharnais drops it down low. Puck right across in front. Markov and leapt up in there on the left-hand side. And Subban back to pick it up. 1 minute to go in the power play. Here comes Subban. Gallagher going towards the front of the net. Puck turned over and cleared.
If you're going to attack the blue line, you can't turn it over with the defenseman because you have no support. If Subban's going to get it deep, he's got to make sure he can go get that puck. Otherwise, it's an easy clear for Ottawa.
Puck cleared in. Plekanec. Galchenyuk. Gallagher out there for Montreal. Plekanec with it here. Back for Petrie. Works it across. Gilbert slides it up. Plekanec is down low. Gallagher is in the slot. Nice work by Galchenyuk. Gets it down low. Comes back out. Here's Gilbert. Plays it back. Gilbert moves across. Down low. Galchenyuk in front. Gallagher fired it wide. Hustles over to pick it up. Gallagher slides it down low. Galchenyuk. Plekanec. Back to Gilbert. Back up. Plekanec, penalized player, back out there. Puck turned over. And MacArthur feathers it down the ice. And that's an icing call on Ottawa.
Game 4, the power play for Montreal was a momentum killer. Much more purposeful here in this game. Dave Cameron says that this building is engaging. I say wrong. Pants on fire. It's intimidating. I played the very first game in this building with the New York Rangers. It was 3-0 before I took a sip out of my water bottle. This is a very tough building, a big game building where the fans are a factor.
Coming around, Weiss fires it. Lots of traffic down there in front of Anderson. Here's Subban. Pivots, fires it in, tipped in front by Eller. Rebound, scrambling after it, saved, and covered up by Anderson. Nice work there by Lars Eller, right down off the edge of the crease.
Montreal certainly has come out with the early push. And it's a simple game plan. Puck to the net and trying to get bodies down in there. Lars Eller one time on the Weiss shot. And then good job by Subban getting it there. Good tip and a loose puck. Eller also gets it. Craig Anderson. Sharp once again going post to post to make a secondary save. He talks about the power play. Montreal 15th because the Islanders haven't scored yet. 1 for 36. Not very good.
Petrie shoots. That was blocked on the way through. Carlson got a stick on it. He's got to come up with a big one for Ottawa. Zibanejad after it. Trying to work it back. Weirkosh is there at the blue line. Pacioretty has it now for Montreal. Striding down that wing. He'll clear it in. Here's Karlsson. 12 hits in the series heading into this game. Ryan has the puck now. Dropped it back. Zibanejad up after it. Puck down towards the corner. Hoffman up looking for it. Karlsson has moved up from the blue line, but Pacioretty will come back out, swings up there, and just backhands it in from the line and heads to the bench. Weirkosh plays it up. Nikala couldn't catch up to it, and an icing call on the Sens. Big sporting summer coming up on CBC for the glory, for the win. Don't miss the 2015 Pan Am, Para-Pan Am games this summer right here on CBC. Plekanec up on the faceoff. And got it through. Trying to walk through was Gallagher. Comes back out. Plekanec waits. Couldn't fire it through. It was blocked. Gryba gets it back. This is Zach Smith. Plays it up along the boards and out. Galchenyuk. Gallagher over to his right as he comes to the line. He gives to Plekanec on his left, who moves it up. Here's Galchenyuk. Gallagher. And pressured along the boards. Gryba's in there, and the puck pops loose. It's picked up here by Stone. Ricochets it up ahead, looking for Smith, gets by him. MacArthur up after it. MacArthur trying to chase it down. Price plays it out of harm's way. Plekanec with it here. Turris was over to watch him. De La Rose couldn't get away. Karlsson wasn't going to let him go anywhere. MacArthur punched down in the corner there by Weiss. Punched in along the boards. I mean, figuratively, not literally, by the way. Karlsson comes in. Turris was looking for it. Here's Subban. Eller. And he will start back. Lots of room. Eller negotiates the line. Trying to get through and ran into Karlsson. And that was that. Mathai gets it around. Here's Karlsson. Mentioned earlier, 12 hits in the series heading into this game. 6 of them in one game. Lazar comes in over the blue line. Senators on a change. Here's De La Rose. Long pass up ahead. Smith-Pelech striding powerfully after it. And that's an icing call, and face-off back down into the Montreal zone.
From ice level, guys, what I see, the Montreal Canadiens are playing fast, just like they played in the first 3 games of this series. And most of the scoring chances, no, let me correct that, all of the scoring chances have been Montreal bound. I have hardly looked down the ice to see what's going on at Carey Price's end.
That's because there's nothing going on down here in Jesse Glenn. 0 shots for Ottawa. And in the room this morning, Ottawa talking about needing to survive this early push, and that's the way it's been so far. And this little debate as to who was on the ice during the icing, and Lars Eller getting a little bit of extra break. Centerman, they want out there regardless to take this defensive zone faceoff.
I have never seen a coach that adamant about that player has to go on the ice and win the debate. The famous game 4, though, right, guys? 11 minutes without a shot, and then Ottawa got on the game. They played their best third period of the series. Zach Montreal was lousy in the third of game 4.
Puck cleared in. Anderson bats that away. Gryba under some pressure. Pacioretty tipped it up towards the slot. Comes back out. Yemelin trying to get a wrist shot through, and he was stuck. Nice job there. Ryan was right out on top of him. Then he battered it with a high stick. That's why Hoffman was waiting. Back in Smith-Pelech. Pacioretty. Desharnais will catch up with it here. Pacioretty clears it around. Smith-Pelech scuttling after it. Back for Desharnais. Under some pressure. Nice work. Hit front. Pacioretty right there. Anderson stopped him. Pacioretty trying to work it towards the front. Ryan picks it up. And a long wrist shot. Bounces wide. Peugeot up there. Yemelin drops it back. Pacioretty looking a little more Pacioretty-esque on that shift.
Everyone a little more jump tonight for Montreal.
Mitchell Gets it around for Prost. Twisting and turning, looking for a bit of room. And couldn't find enough of it. Conrad back the other way. Peugeot is with him. Lazar over on the far side. Pattern bumped there along the boards. Comes up to Prost. Pattern moves it ahead. Flynn back for Pattern. Teams finishing their changes. Gilbert with it. Back over for Pattern. Knifed it up ahead there. And
dirty bouncer.
It sure was. And Anderson able to control it. Sort of.
Notice at the top right of your screen, the minutes without a shot for Ottawa. A long time to go without a shot. You think you beat Price if you get shots. Try not getting any. See what you get.
Puck comes up and ahead. Trying to work through there with Smith. Puck knocked away. Rolls around. Puck tipped up now. Galchenyuk bumps it ahead. Here's Carlson. Turris got it over the line, gets it back. Turris walks to the high slide, gets a wrist shot in, and the first shot on goal of the game for the Ottawa Senators comes from Turris from well out. No problem there for Price. Pacioretty. Were you expecting a big night out of him? He was around the net in his last shift. More to come on Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Leah Hextall, Hockey Central, Game 5, Pens and Rangers on Sportsnet. Pitt facing elimination. Not a great start. Derek Stepan on the power play. Sweeps it in. 1-0 Blue Shirts. Back to the bell. And Paul Romanuk.
All right, thank you very much, Leah. Now, you played here, and you came in here to play. Were you intimidated or invigorated? Heels didn't like playing in here.
I always felt invigorated, both as a Canadian and as a visitor, because the energy in the building and the atmosphere, that it definitely gives you a little extra jump playing in front of these great fans.
How many big nights have been in this building? The Sweater retirements, Beliveau night. Tough building to win in, period.
That was Greiba who was in tough along the boards and rattled. Here's Price, plays it across. Long pass comes up ahead. Eller gets a chance, gets a shot. Anderson with the save.
And this is what makes Montreal good when they're on top of their game. Long passes through the neutral zone, generating chances off the rush. That is Subban to Eller, about 100 feet, tape to tape for a pretty good slapper from the perimeter. And that's when Montreal is at their very best. Game 1, Game 4, you see only 13 and 12 attempts at stretch passes, which is a pass from their own end over the red line. Games 2 and 3, Montreal's best games. They attempted many more, and they were successful at it. And that's when they could push the tempo the way Michel Therrien wants them to.
Pacioretty pushing it back. Yemelin chops it. Long fly ball to the corner. Desharnais up there to win it. Hoffman here to pick it up, and he will start back. Hoffman up to the line, dishes off. Ryan moving in, waits, shoots, scores! Bobby Ryan took the shot. Not sure whether it was tipped by an Ottawa player or went off a Montreal player, but it's in there. And the Sens with the lead.
Right now, Bobby Ryan saying, maybe it's me. It's been a long time coming. Hoffman with his speed pushes the defense back, and then Zibanejad kicked his stick into Carey Price's glove area. I don't know if he got a piece of it or not, but just enough to distract him. And Bobby Ryan looking for a break. It's been forever since he scored a goal. And looks like he squeaks that one over top of the pad of Price off the post and in.
It would break a 16-game goalless drought if he does get credit. They haven't announced it yet here in the building.
346 shifts without a goal. The monkey is off his back. No, the gorilla is off his back.
Here's Flynn, fires it low and wide. So Ryan does get credit. So The aforementioned gorilla does slide off the back for the time being.
See if it hits, sparks him a little bit of confidence, feeling better about himself. Get his game going.
Here comes Hoffman wheeling up there. Tried to fire a wrist shot through. Gilbert got in front of it. Plekanec under a bit of pressure. Patterson will come away with it. Works it up there for Gallagher. Gets by him. In over the line. Galchenyuk up after that puck. Knocked away from him. Ryan shovels it ahead. Hoffman wheeling and dealing in over the line. Tight ropes along there to the left side. Fires it in, and Price grabs and hangs on. So a little pushing and shoving in the wake of a slash. That's always going to draw a crowd. You're watching Hockey Night in Canada, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC.
Well, Senators survived the first 6-7 minutes and then have taken the lead on Bobby Ryan's first of the playoffs. And you see it just squeak through the pad and glove of Carey Price. And feels very good about that one.
Well, I love the reaction of the players who are on the ice with him and the reaction of the player who scores the goal. Look at his reaction. You got to be kidding me. Watch Zibanejad come on over. He's happy as well. And the captain. You can tell that Bobby Ryan's a player that these guys really like and are happy that he has busted a slump at the right time.
Well, they haven't helped him celebrate a goal since March 19th. A long, for him, miserable skid. Puck dropped down, McCulloch after it. Muscles his way there, puck rolling out. Smith was coming over looking for it. And play is called.
Something happened. Jeff Petrie got tangled up. And in his favor in his right leg as he makes his way up the ice. And he's had a nice series stepping in for Subban when he missed time in game one, when he's had different guys get out, and you see right there, oh, hard hit. Almost like a Charlie horse there by Chiasson, right through Petrie. Nothing dirty about it. That would be a big loss, although Montreal's played lots of games where they've lost a defenseman. Taran's been out, Beaulieu, Subban. They've been down to 3 of the 5 games.
Well, you mentioned, Mike, and it's a good point. He's really stepped up for Montreal in this series when he's been needed. Michel Therrien said it took a few weeks, took a few games for him to settle into the Montreal system, but he's been playing some great hockey. Here's Turris moving up, shoots, Price, stop that.
Took him a while to get away from the shell shock of Edmonton, that's all it was. Imagine playing a season there.
Fair point.
Then you get on the ice, you go back to center because the referee has the puck.
Here comes Galchenyuk, he's on the move. Plekanec, Galchenyuk moves in, sharp angle shot. Too sharp as it turned out, Anderson had to stop. Here comes Turris. Turris clears it in. Price handles that. Desharnais skitters in over the line. Smith Pelly up after it. Peugeot there to claim the spoils. Mathot taps up ahead for Peugeot. He will move in, ditches off to Condra, back up. Peugeot tips it on goal. Saved and held by Price.
That goal has settled down the Senators. They're generating some chances, skating on their own, and Kyle Turris skating off the puck. Another nice play by Stone, banks it for him. In stride, 2-on-1. Tries to go off the pad for a rebound, maybe. Price kicks it right past MacArthur. But with that early goal, that makes the 5th game in a row where the Ottawa Senators have scored first. And Montreal, despite being up 3-1 in this series, has led a playoff low 43 minutes of game time only. They have been playing this entire series tied or from behind, so it's bodes well for the Senators. Once again, another early goal, playing with the lead.
It's funny, the numbers don't add up, right? There's that stat, there's Montreal's bad power play, but hey, who's up 3-1 in the series?
The analytics won't look good for this first period either, because it's been all Montreal, yet they don't have the lead.
An issue with the clock there. And everything straightened out, and off the face-off comes back to Mathot. Carlson is all set up, fires it in. Rebound hops out, and that's controlled. Comes up, Carlson with it. Clears it up ahead. Ryan Zibanejad digging up towards the corner. Mitchell got there first, was able to steer it away. Here's Flynn. Back for Gilbert. Yemlin. On the way out for Montreal. Yemlin comes up, tucks it up ahead there. Crust moving in, winds up with his shot. Saved and held by Anderson.
Unless you get some traffic on player 41, you are not going to beat him. Because if you see all of the shots without a net drive, without people taking away his eyes, you're not beating Craig Anderson. 5-on-5, his numbers are exceptional. 68 saves on 70 shots, 5-on-5.
Isn't the option then put it on his pads and not try to score? Look to create a rebound if you have nobody directly in front.
He's in his zone.
Subban fires a wrist shot through off his skate to the corner. Condra got it out. This is Pajot. Up there towards the corner. Lazar swoops in to claim the puck. Works it back up to the line. Puck moved back up by Borowiecki to the corner. Here's Lazar. Borowiecki at the line. Kept it in. Fired a wrist shot. Blocked by Subban. And he's up and quickly moves it to Pacioretty, who strides in. The play went offside, however. You'll want to watch for the National with the one and only Peter Mansbridge. Weeknights at 9, 10, and 11 Eastern Time on CBC News Network. Lukanitz gets it back there. Puck bombed in by Patterin. Wirkosh. Just plays it down the ice, and an icing call on the Senators.
Early on in the series, first couple of games, Andrew Hammond in net for Ottawa. We saw them work extensively in the morning skates on playing pucks off the backboards, knowing how bouncy it is. Hammond trying to get used to it. Craig Anderson, veteran guy, he knows it's coming off the boards quickly, plays that one, ready for it. And it's another element of the experience of a guy like Craig Anderson versus a young player who hasn't been around that often in Hammond.
Puck comes back. Funny though, I swear that my unofficial count, the bounces were McCulloch fires one in way more wicked off those stanchions in Ottawa. Chiasson back into the lineup for Ottawa. Neal goes out. Ceci ditches it back. Smith winds up, rips one. That thuds off the glass. Chiasson over to pick it up. Smith. McCulloch. Patterin watching him. McCulloch looking for some room. Down to Chiasson. Chiasson looking. Smith. All the way back out for Ceci. Fires the wrist shot wide. Comes up off the boards. Trying to crank it on goal there was Wirkosh, but it was stopped. Back at the line. Smith, good job to keep it in momentarily. Wirkosh helps him out. Chiasson works it around back of the net. Comes up for McCulloch. Long shift for the Montreal defenders. Patterin will just flip it out, and Montreal can get in some changes. De La Rose up there after. Knifed it to the corner, over to the boards to pick it up. Fired it wide. Comes up and around. Subban fires one in there. Stopped and held. As per Glenn Healy's point, Montreal trying to get some traffic down in front of Craig Anderson to at least make it difficult for him, but Anderson in his zone. Bit of traffic here, but he sees that one. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC. It hasn't always been the answer they wanted, but the equation always starts off with Ottawa scoring first.
And now it's been 5 games in a row. Right from the get-go, Ottawa's been in front in every single one. You don't want to be playing, trying to catch up against Carey Price and the Montreal defensive unit. And every single game, in Game 4, of course, it was the only goal. And then tonight, one more, Bobby Ryan. Important for a couple reasons. Not only does it give them the lead, but it gets Bobby Ryan on the board and get him feeling a little better about himself. So Dave Cameron has said we'd like to play 3 first periods many times, and if they can finish this one off up 1-0, he'll say the same tonight.
They weathered the storm. Shots were 6-0. They knew it was going to be frenetic in here, and I don't think Carey Price saw the puck.
You expect it to save if he did.
Anderson out to play it. Knocked down on the corner by Smith-Pelly. And Turris pinioning him along the boards. Puck comes back out. Wrist shot comes in. Glenn, you described earlier on Montreal is playing fast. Has that kind of gone away?
Well, yeah, because the seed of doubt was created by this first goal. And you tell me, Carey Price, does he move on this shot? He's going to move to make a save. Doesn't move because he doesn't see it. And then shortly after, does he move on this one? Yeah, you can see that all the way. Oh, that's clear. Not a chance. But that's what you got to do to Carey Price, too. I mean, everybody basically says it every time they play him, but it has been effective one time per goal.
Patterson fires one, misfired on it. It rolled towards the corner, comes up along the boards, not out. Flynn going after it. He was wrestling away with Gryba. There's Gryba over in the other corner trying to take his man out of the play. Flynn with it, sharp angle, Anderson with the save. Rebound rolled across in front, nobody was home for Montreal. This is Peugeot, clears it up, Conrad digs hard to the corner. Gilbert trying to head him off at the pass. Lazar in there to claim the spoils. Lazar, Peugeot fires one through. Price saw that, stopped it. Puck comes back out. Weirkosh waiting, scores!
Didn't see that one either.
No. Gilbert right in front. Weirkosh with the goal, and Ottawa stun this crowd. It's 2-0 Senators.
They deserve full marks since they've scored that first one back in the game, winning some battles and getting down to the front of the net, forcing action and activity. And look at all those people. Patterson, Gilbert, Peugeot, Chiasson, Condra right in front. And good patience by Weirkosh. Just get it down through and get it up in the air. And he does just enough. That head up the whole way. It's not a hard shot. It's wobbling, but again, Carey Price has no idea. And 2-0 the Ottawa Senators. First time this series there's been a 2-goal lead.
Montreal after heading to the bench. He fell on a little earlier on in this period. Looks okay now. He's got the puck.
Sometimes the best trades are the ones you don't make. How many times have they tried to trade Weirkosh this year? He's leading the first round in goals for his team with 3.
Here's Petrie, fires a wrist shot through. Anderson saw that through to the corner. Rebound comes, knocked away. And puck gloved ahead, so play is stopped, and Plekanec out. A little pushing and shoving. With 3:42 to go in this first period, here is David Amber.
Hey guys, the Sens on top, and maybe there's their inspirational leader tonight, Daniel Alfredsson, franchise leader in basically every statistical category, sitting with the GM, Brian Murray. Talk to the guys about Alfredsson making an appearance, and Curtis Lazar said he still brings confidence to this team, even though he's not on the team with us. We feel a sense of accomplishment knowing that he's around, knowing everything he accomplished in his career. So far so good for Alfredsson and the Sens. Paul?
And Montreal coming in offside.
And so all that energy and all that emotion that was in this building that Montreal started this game with is gone. And Ottawa has done a brilliant job managing this first period. Craig Anderson with some good saves, another good penalty kill. And now all of a sudden it's quiet, and you start thinking, what if? What if this ends up? And right back to Ottawa they could go.
Smith driving up, sharp angle shot. Price stops it and holds on.
Although we watched 2-0 disappear last night in 6 minutes against Detroit.
Ottawa would gladly take where they are right now, up 2-0, very much in control. And you know, there was a little bit of traffic there for Carey Price, but he just couldn't quite find it. And this one, not at all with all those bodies. But that first one, he tried to squeeze that glove down, but it trickled through. And again, if you're on the bench, that's one you expect him to save.
How is it you put it? I would be happy if
I would be disappointed that that one went in.
Once again, the forward blaming the goalie when he can't see the puck, but I'm not saying that with my outside voice. Okay?
You know what? But that one came through one set of legs a little further out, and as you well know, you got to work to see those pucks. And I just think it just slipped through him.
But you're right, Mike. The seed of doubt's planted. You think Ottawa thinks they can't win the next game in Ottawa?
Pacioretty throws it back, comes over to Markov, clears it up off the boards, and still lots to go in this one to win this game and stave off elimination. Smith-Pelly. Subban finding a little bit of room. Not enough to get a shot away. Actually, it was. He got a wrist shot in there. And the rebound, a slippery one, came out, but center is able to control, and Turris will start back. In over the line, fires it in. Price bats that away. Borowiecki over to Greiber. This is Gallagher. Comes through, got tangled up there with his teammate, Plekanec. Got Chenyuk, Gallagher, both trying to coax that puck loose. Greiber boosting it across for Borowiecki, and he gets it down the ice. Price over for Petrie, and a little hot to handle for Petrie there. Got away from him. Now he'll come back after it. Augers himself into the ice and lost the puck. Gallagher played it out, took the hit after he got rid of it, or as he was getting rid of it. Puck played up, McCallum coming in looking for it. Here's Yemelin. Ceci. Pajot moved it to the forehand and then lost it. Knocked down, and it comes out. Condra there to fetch. Has to wait for Lazar to come out and get onside. Condra snapping it back in there. Petrie. Lazar up along the boards.
Couple chances.
Played in by Flynn. Yemelin up there, and he finishes his check. Thumping into his man. That was Wirkosh who felt the brunt of that, but he's okay. Conrad, he's given a bump by Subban. Elbow might have been up a little bit. Puck played in. And Anderson's going to hang on to it with 52 seconds to go. Little chippy the last couple of shifts.
Montreal trying to get maybe a little energy back into their game, but PK Subban does a nice job working the blue line, getting a shot down, and look at that tip there by Smith-Pelly. Good save from Craig Anderson. That's a couple times now we've seen Montreal shoot the pucks to the side of the net for tips because Ottawa doing such a good job taking lanes away. And Yemelman's seen enough. He wants to get a forecheck going himself, so he gets in after Wirkosh takes a piece of him.
The letter of the law is you're using hits to displace a player from the puck, not displace him from the arena.
Here's Subban, working to the high slot. Pacioretty, that is his sweet spot right out there, and he got it on goal. Puck moved up. Markov clears it back in. Here's Weiss. Pacioretty up there, couldn't get to it. Markov pinched up, kept it in momentarily. Ryan tips it across. Back to Ryan. Under 30 seconds to go in this opening period. Ottawa Senators with a 2-0 lead. Puck comes up and it bounces past Darnay. Zibanejad moved it up. Hoffman with a shot tipped up over the glass and out of play.
So this series has had its twists and turns, but one thing that has been consistent has been the good play of the top 6 forwards for Ottawa. You look at their stats, 7 goals. Their bottom 6, absolutely nothing for Ottawa. -8, not getting it done at all. For Montreal, it's been the other way around. The top 6, 3 goals. Their bottom 6 with 5 and a plus combined 11 with 14 points. Inverse production on both teams. So if you're Montreal and want to get back in this game, look to those top 6 and say, come on, boys, it's time to get her going.
And it's the top 6 that play on the power play.
Puck comes back. Carlson not really in a position to wind up. He tried to sneak a wrist shot through. Gallagher couldn't get going quickly enough there. MacArthur given a little bump, and Yemelin with another little one after time runs out. Well, a great period for the Ottawa Senators, wasn't it? 2 goals. Ryan gets one, Wirkosh gets the other. First intermission. Ron MacLean, Don Cherry, it's the Coach's Corner coming up You are watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC.
Thanks so much. Starting your weekend here on Hockey Night in Canada. 2-0 Senators with the lead, and that has meant it's a very different scene here at the Bell Center. Excitement has changed to some trepidation, some nervousness. They can't hide the looks on their faces as this series suddenly has become much more interesting. A very different scene, though, for the Ottawa Senators. This morning out there, they seemed like a very loose bunch out there, the pre-morning skate. And the thing that you really enjoyed about it was Mark Stone acknowledged for his nomination for the Calder Trophy. He was told about this by the assistant GMs, Pierre Dorion and Randy Lee, and all smiles. He led the stretch there, guys, and they also now, he told me they're all lobbying to go to Las Vegas to the awards show with them. Second period now, Paul, Mike, and Glenn. Paul.
Well, he said this morning when I chatted with him, the wrist's feeling pretty good now. It's feeling pretty good. I can shoot with it now, but first rule, don't believe anything in the playoffs. There are more mistruths told during the playoffs than all the world's dating websites combined. You just don't believe anything you hear or read. Guys aren't going to give much away. So I don't know, is the wrist still really sore or is it feeling better? MacArthur. Turris works it across. Karlsson wired that one. Stick breaks, not his. Puck rolls down. And Markov, stickless, will head over to the bench now. Meanwhile, Gallagher comes down, fires it up, off the boards. Pacioretty, Gallagher down in front. Gallagher, Pacioretty, Plekanec out there. Here's Turris. Stone. Waiting. Fires it down. It's tipped up off the glass, off the netting, and a stop.
Here's a real sign to me of a confident goaltender with a lot of poise. Early in the period, Anderson, no, I'm not going to go up the boards. I'm going direct past the Montreal Canadiens as they take the boards away.
You're playing on 3-on-3 with Montreal. You cannot over-pursue because you know who's coming is Erik Karlsson. He blows Markov's stick apart with that slapper. But you have to identify that trailer head on a swivel because you know Erik Karlsson is joining the rush whenever he can.
Zibanejad, Hoffman, Ryan out there for Ottawa. Gryba skates back to pick it up. Flynn. Mitchell trying to tip that one. He was scrapping around there looking for a rebound in front. Puck steered back, Yebelin with it. Mitchell out there with Crust and Flynn. Puck heads down, that's an icing call.
The challenge for the Montreal Canadiens is just, as Lars Eller said it was going to be, just stay with the program, try to stay with the game plan because the fans are feeling the tension, so are the Montreal Canadiens. They know what's at stake here, and they know that they don't want to go back to Ottawa for Game 6, but they have to do it methodically as they try to work themselves back in this game, not get it all done at once by going individual.
Well, we've talked so often about, when we talk about Montreal and Carey Price, it's, well, you're not going to get 2 by Carey Price or 3 or whatever the magic number is. Flip it around. What you're seeing so far, Glenn, are you going to get 3 by Anderson? Puck comes up, tipped on goal, grabbed and held by Price.
Not unless they get some people in front of him. Price has been steady. And anything that he sees, like Anderson, he makes the save. He sees this. Save, cover up the rebound. Anything that he doesn't see has ended up in the back of his net. How about the first period of Ceci and Wiercott, both a +2? All the talk about the Norris Trophy winners on both sides, Subban and Karlsson, and those two guys are the stars of the period, and Wiercott of the series.
Have to feel good for Wiercott, a guy who was a healthy scratch 19 times this year. They tried to trade him. And here he is, stepping up, big contributor here in the playoffs for Ottawa so far. Here's Weiss, peels in over the line, steers it up towards the corner. Pajot with a whack at it, Lazar back checking, able to slide the puck across to Wiercott. Pajot. Delayed penalty coming up. It is going to go against Montreal. Ottawa with the extra attacker out there. And the puck is touched by Weiss, and A Senators power play as Weiss heads to the box.
Weiss playing out of rotation there with Galchenyuk and Plekanec, and he's going to pick up a penalty for the high. Oh, is he ever trying to jump around Cody Ceci? Puts his stick right in the side of Ceci's head and knocks his helmet off. Easy one to call. Dale Weiss knows that.
Can't believe the referees detected that. So subtle. And you know, for Ceci, a -3 in game 1, and coaches put players on the ice because they trust them defensively, and good on Cameron. He goes right back, trusts them, and now look what you get here in game 5.
So Ottawa on the power play. It is their first of the game. Turris up there. Stone and MacArthur in the wings. Weirkoch has it here. You know who's at the other point. Carlson gets back to Weirkoch. Over to Turris. Moves up, slides it down low. Puck slid across to the weak side for Carlson, who'd moved all the way up from the right point. He's got it now. Carlson all the way back for Weirkoch. Had trouble handling the pass cleanly. Carlson waits. Fired across in front. MacArthur has it. Throws it back for Weirkoch, and that's not going to work out. Weirkoch back to pick it up. 1:27 to go on the power play. Lots of time. Dishes up to MacArthur. Pocket pick there by Subban. Chipped out by Pacioretty. Now knocked down, and Turris will leg it back in. This is Turris. Looking around. Turris back to the line. Carlson. Carlson again. Turris. Moved it across, and MacArthur was in the vicinity, but couldn't get a stick on it. Here's Stone. Carlson. And as the Ottawa fans booed Subban, the Montreal fans returning the favor in kind here against Carlson, who's going to leg it after the puck with De La Rose in tow. Ryan on the way up. Ryan snaking his way to the line, comes in, and that falls apart just inside the line. De La Rose gets it down the ice. Zibanejad, Ryan, McCulloch up front right now for Ottawa to close out this power play as McCulloch chips it in. Zibanejad coming in hard. Frost blocked him a little bit, and the puck cleared. And that will do it for the Ottawa power play as Weiss is poised to step back onto the ice. On the way up is Ceci. Weiss is back out there. Teams at even strength. Price plays it up.
That's straight out.
Straight out, and that's a penalty against Montreal.
We know Carey Price likes to get out there, handle the puck. He's got a good shot. He's got a lot of confidence, sometimes a little too much confidence. This one just jumps up on his blade, turns it over with a backhand, and that is straight up and over.
Well, timing is everything in penalties, and you look at Dale Weiss, takes the penalty, 2-0 game, wrong time, he knows it. I need a kill. I need a kill from my goaltender, and then when he escaped from the box, it was almost like freedom. So now Price, I mean, he's got to turn his glove hand over to play that. That is so unusual to get that up into the mesh. But when a goalie takes a penalty, and I've taken many, trust me, you want to be the best penalty killer on the ice.
Weiss is in the box to serve it. So his departure from the penalty box very short-lived. Turris, Stone, and MacArthur getting all set for the face-off. Carlson at the left point. And the puck will be cleared down the ice. Greiba at the right, springing up there. Short-handed chance for Plekanec. And Anderson with a big stop right there. Plekanec hopping up there with the short-handed opportunity. My goodness. Here comes Turris. Up to MacArthur. Turris gets it up and around. And the puck cleared out. And Hoffman couldn't get his man. Pacioretty drops it back. Eller run over there by MacArthur. Fans wanted a penalty. Here comes Carlson. On the way up, dishes to Hoffman. Puck played in. Carlson's going to jump up there from the right point to keep it in. Turris. Stone curling into the corner. He's given a bump there by Yemelin. And Yemelin then takes a shot. And a penalty coming up. It's going to be a high sticking call.
And now Montreal trying to build momentum off the penalty kill, and it starts with a great chance for Thomas Buchanan's PK Subban, the high shooter. Craig Anderson realized he doesn't want to take one of those dirty bounces. Look at that thing float. Anderson comes out to play it on the short hop, but Thomas Buchanan read this one right away off Subban's stick, and he beats everybody down the ice. And he's got Anderson on a breakaway, tries to beat him to the blocker side and can't quite do it. What would have been a huge shorthanded goal for the Montreal Canadiens. Good for Craig Anderson getting back up, finding his net, and still making that save, keeping Montreal off the board. And then here's the penalty there. Mark Stone getting up into Yemelin's face with a high stick.
Good play by Anderson. You've got to come out as far as you can and be aggressive. Don't let that thing bounce in front of you. Who's the cameraman following the puck? Get him on the Golf Channel.
Galchenyuk comes in offside. Well, a great replay with the super slow motion because you can see the puck kind of wiggling around a little bit. It never quite settled for Buchanan's.
No, but and good for Craig Anderson for finding his net. You come charging out, you take it on the short hop, and you still got to get back and take a breakaway. It was well read by the Montreal Canadiens. Buchanan and Subban on the same page. And Buchanan's got it settled down there. Not much a fake, just pulled it to his forehand, and then Anderson right on top of it. Ottawa went with 4 forwards in the power play that time. Mike Hoffman playing the point. And we'll just keep running, put forwards out there.
And the puck stolen there. Desharnais gets in front, and Galchenyuk was down there to help out. Teams at even strength right now. Ceci swings wide, dropped it back. Smith moves it up. Oh, trying to come back in with Ceci, and he was knocked down. Galchenyuk burrowing up there for Montreal. Back for Gallagher. Puck moved up ahead. Here's Subban. Shifts to the middle. Regains his balance. Subban still looking. Markov again. Chipping it towards the goal. Montreal pressuring here. They're on the power play. Markov, top of the point. Buchanan shoots. Rebound. Galchenyuk tried to pull it around. Gallagher after it. Pocket pick there by Chiasson, who gets it down the ice. 40 seconds to go in the Montreal power play. Canadiens down by 2. Gallagher up there after the puck. Batted down by Subban. Buchanan, yep, gloved ahead, play called.
4-on-4 hockey. And turnover by Montreal. 3-on-1. Chiasson trying to find Ceci on the back door, and Ceci didn't quite commit to going all the way to the post, otherwise he would have had a tap in. And if you're going to take Subban away one side, then you have to attack the other for Buchanan, and he gets that shot down on the net. It's 2-on-1 with Galchenyuk and Gallagher with Ceci. And at this point, Montreal's got to take those chances and see if they can't get a tip or a rebound.
Well, what I noticed there, Mike, was Galchenyuk having that play. Good, not bad, could have scored, but it's Pacioretty sitting on the boards waiting to get on for the power play for 20 full seconds.
Subban working it up, gets it back, plays a little catch with Buchanan, works it down in front. Pacioretty right there in front, and couldn't stuff it in behind Anderson. That will do it for the Montreal power play. Stone back out onto the ice. Teams at even strength. And here comes Subban, gathering speed. Pocket picked cleanly. Ryan moves in. Does he get a shot? Trying to work to the middle, and the puck was knocked away. Here's Pacioretty. Subban turned it over. Puck fired in. Rising shot from Hoffman was knocked down. Now back to Subban. Long pass up the middle to Buchanan, gains control, dropped it back. Gallagher coming up after it. Here's Gallagher, twisting around, puck bouncing. Buchanan's going after it, chipped up along the boards. Yemelin will chase it down here. Gilbert, lots of room. Gilbert still driving in deep. Takes the scenic route around, fires a shot through. Knocked down, ends up there in the corner, picked up by De La Rose. Looks around, back to the blue line. Gilbert shovels it in, wobbles around in the slot. Smith-Pelly works it around. Eller waiting, looking. Comes all the way around. Eller curls back out, fired a wrist shot in wide of the target. Gilbert up there to trap it. Stone watching him. And Senators weather that storm. Stone moves it up. Turris coming up after it. Played up and around. Eller. Chiasson takes care of him. Weirkosh looking for it here along the wall. McCullough plays it back. Here's Greiba. Montreal hustling in a change as we ease towards the halfway point of regulation time in this game. Ottawa with a 2-0 lead. Trailing in the series 3-1. Slipping in over the blue line. Flynn up there with Mitchell. Knocked away by Anderson. Crust waiting for the puck to pop loose. Flynn as well is up there. Mitchell. This is Prust. Snaps it around the boards. Patterson clears it up. Mitchell couldn't get to it. Patterson creeps up in the right side. Can't keep it in. This is Flynn. Back to Petrie. On the move to the blue line. Petrie trying to come down through the middle. Puck up there. Flynn after it. Battling with Pajot. Pajot plays it ahead. Curtis Lazar slides up to the line. Chips it to the corner. Comes in hard after it. Subban rubs him along the boards. Puck comes up and around. This is Weiss on the way back. Clears it towards the corner. Climbs his way around his man up there. Bumps with Maton. Desharnais there to claim it. Blew a wheel. He's back up though. Still with that puck. Galchenyuk hanging back looking for it. Took a bat at it. Maton gets there. Subban pitched well up from the right side. Moves it down in. Desharnais. Got to creep towards the front of the net. Knocked away. Galchenyuk fired a shot. That's done. Anderson couldn't smother it. Now he sprawls out. Still couldn't get it. Montreal with some pressure here. Fans hollering for a penalty. As Desharnais was knocked down. This is Markov. Chips it up off the boards. Plekanec working up there. Steers it towards the goals of Zibanejad. Puck bounces back out, moving up. Subban fires one, it's tipped. Wobbles around to Lazar. He is stopped along the boards by Pacioretty. Bang! Back up for Subban. Pacioretty coming up there after it. He was looking to land it on Carlson, but he gets rid of the puck. Hoffman wheeling and dealing. Comes in there, drops it back. Ryan moving in. Drops it back out to the slot, and it's picked up. Petrie leaping up there. Gallagher comes in over the line, and the play is offside. And Gallagher nose to nose. Fans were hollering for a penalty here. None forthcoming. More to come in a moment.
Best chance for Max Pacioretty on the power play, and really not much of a chance as he gets surrounded by three white sweaters. Bobby Ryan, a little bit of confidence in his game. He's got his first goal of 346 shifts, so he's got a little bit more swagger with the puck.
Well, one guy who always lots of swagger, but sometimes too much. PK Subban has always played better when he keeps it simple, trying to dance around guys in neutral zone once, unsuccessful twice, and it's another turnover. And for him, less very often is more. And despite being down 2-0, he's got to stay within the game plan.
Subban so far, ice time 14 minutes and 37 seconds. Ottawa scoring both goals in the first period. Gallagher bumped down there by Borowiecki. Puck comes up. Patterson shoots. Flicking out that pad was Anderson. McCullough racing up after it. Patterson bumping him. McCullough comes away with the puck. Chiasson going after it. Mixing it up with Gilbert. Patterson flicking it ahead. Pacioretty going after it. Up to the corner. Pacioretty out there with Gallagher. And now Eller comes over the boards. Subban. Twisting and turning, looking for a lane. Can't find one. Plays it up and ahead, and the puck dished in, and play called at the line with the offside. 7 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the second period. The City waits to see whether or not their team can wrap this series up.
Craig Anderson continues his stellar play, and even when there's bodies and traffic in front of him, he is fighting through it. His stick is tied up with Greiba, but he still flashes the leg, very much in control, on balance. And at some point, you have to say he is becoming a major story in the series.
So let's take a look at the story of this game. One player's reaction, one player's kind of thought process through the 6 inches between his ears. That wasn't the expression in game 2 when he scored both goals. Montreal team is a little bit off the trolley. They're a little frustrated.
And that being reflected in Michel Therrien really juggling around the lines. De La Rose up there after the puck. He's out there with Eller and Smith-Pelly now. Smith-Pelly running headlong into Ryan, knocked him for a spin. Markov up after it. De La Rose after the puck. Markov. And Hoffman will chip it in. This is Subban. Markov. Weiss comes in. Lost his balance. Galchenyuk in there. Puck bouncing way up, and Weiss up there challenging for it. Lazar gets it up ahead. Peugeot swings in offside.
Montreal trying to get something going, trying to get back into this game, whether it be physical play like Smith-Pelly here on Bobby Ryan, and that is perfect. Shoulder to shoulder, two big bodies colliding, knocking Bobby Ryan well over. And then a broken play, Galchenyuk in tight, and can't quite find a way to get it under and through Craig Anderson as he continues to stand tall.
Off the draw, puck comes back. McCulloch fired it wide after some good work there by Smith. Carlson skating back to pick it up. McCott up along the boards. McCulloch looking for it. Chiasson and Smith out there with him. And play is called. A penalty coming up. It's going to be an interference call. And the news not getting any better for Michel Therrien and the Montreal Canadiens. Heading to the box for Montreal, Desharnais.
Here's where the series turned for the Ottawa Senators. 15-minute mark of the second period of Game 4. That goes in. It's 1-0 Montreal. He keeps it 0-0. Ottawa wins 1-0 in overtime, and he's been perfect, letter perfect since.
Here's Carlson. He will play it up. Ottawa on the power play. This is Stone. Out there with McCulloch and Turris. Puck work back to Carlson. Over to the other defenseman, Weirkosh. Moves up towards the circle. Puck pops in front, back to Carlson. Drilled and scores! Carlson with an arrow to the corner. And it is a 3-0 Ottawa lead.
Broken play down in front, but all the Montreal forwards. Torrey Mitchell gets drawn down to the front of the net, gives some pretty good gap out to Erik Karlsson, and he unloads. Look at the flex and kick on that stick. Maybe gets a piece of Torrey Mitchell on the way in. And Carey Price just waves at it. And power play has been a big story in this game, hurting Montreal, helping the Ottawa Senators, and now that all-important 3-goal cushion for the Senators as they can feel it.
Well, Glenn, I come back to it. Are they going to score 4 on Anderson tonight?
Well, if I say no, then people are going to turn away from the sets. So I'll say maybe and keep watching. But, you know, you look at that's Karlsson's first shot of the night.
Here's Gallagher, fires one. That's battered away by Anderson. Pacioretty. Buchanan works it out. Gallagher tried the one-timer. Gilbert up after it. Gallagher. Buchanan trying to get it across in front. McCulloch with it. Gallagher coming in with Pacioretty and Buchanan. Gilbert. Patterson works it up for Pacioretty. Misfired. Was being pressured there by Borowiecki. Puck comes out in front. Nobody home for the Canadians. McCulloch comes out. Here's Gilbert. Inside the final 5 minutes of the second period, a 3-0 Ottawa Senators lead. What a night for the Sens. What a performance so far. And looking pretty good at this stage, obviously, to send it back to Ottawa for Game 6. Puck work towards the front. Price stops it. Rebound Lazar flashing in there, but couldn't get a shot away. Shots on goal in the second period, 10-4 in favor of Montreal. McCott plays it ahead. Here's Peugeot. Work back to the vacant left point position. Wirkosh back to pick it up. Ricocheted up. Hoffman couldn't get a stick on it. Yemelin back there for Montreal. Smith-Pelly stripped at the puck. Hoffman moved it across in front. Ryan was in the neighborhood. Ceci plays it up. Ryan. Hoffman scuttles after it. Given a bump there by Smith-Pelly. Eller gets it across. De La Rose dishing over. Yemelin, long shot in, just steered away. Eller. Zibanejad back on the play to break things up. Ceci. Petrie pinching up from the right point. Knocks the puck down. Eller. Looking for a little bit of room. And just can't find any. Comes back for Petrie. Fires a shot. Stopped and held by Anderson.
Let's take a look at some more images that tell you it wasn't supposed to be this way tonight. I was supposed to be able to get to the front of the net and take away the eyes for Anderson. But I don't get there. In fact, I don't take the eyes away. And then back at the bench, again, more images of we were not supposed to lose this hockey game. It's supposed to be a live building. We're supposed to come out of the chute with a big lead. Not to be.
It was, and they did, but they didn't score. Montreal dominated the first 5 or 6 minutes. Markov works it across in front. Mitchell. Here's Lazar. And gets some help. Borowiecki with the puck. Chips it down the ice. Markov. Subban plays it up and around. Gets by Press. Mitchell climbing his way up there after it with Flynn. Puck comes across for Turris. On the way up with Lazar. Ceci for Lazar. Just boosting the puck in. Price will park it there for Markov. Ryder plays it up. Mitchell there to knock it down. Comes in with Prust. Torrey Mitchell up towards the corner. Karlsson rubs him out of the play. And Prust jumping in there. End of a long shift for these three. Mitchell, Prust, and Flynn. Smith coming up. Here's Gilbert. Galchenyuk. Here's Weiss. Got by him. Karlsson there to pick it up. Desharnais, Weiss, and Galchenyuk out there for Montreal. As Michel Therrien juggles around the combinations, looking for something to spark a listless offensive team in this game. Galchenyuk In over the blue line. Up ahead for Desharnais. Jousting there with Carlson. Puck coming loose. Petrie was up there to force it. Peugeot was knocked down. Less than a minute to go in this second period. Weirkosh. Here's Carlson. Up ahead, Peugeot tips it there for Lazar. Moving in. Trying to drop it for Peugeot. And he's overcome. And Gallagher from Montreal gets it up ahead. Petrie couldn't wheel the pass in. Anderson plays it out of harm's way. Petrie continuing after him. Pacioretty up there to help him. Plekanec's the other forward. He's got the puck now. Smith-Pelly is parked in front. Plekanec gets it up there, and Smith-Pelly couldn't get untangled to get a shot away. Pass was sort of into his feet. Price leaving it there. Subban, can he get something started for the Canadiens? On the way to center for Plekanec as he comes in. Plays it up there. Smith-Pelly back of the net. He's given a bump. Has the puck. Centers it out in front. De La Rose couldn't get a stick on it. Subban moves it over. Eller charges up, and that will do it for period number 2. A little bit of a late period burst there for Montreal, but it was Ottawa getting the job done. Carlson, big goal on the power play. Montreal frustrated. They trail the Senators by a score of 3-0 on Hockey Night in Canada.
Welcome back. Pop culture, music, and the best talk on radio. Join Shad for the new Q, weekday mornings, 10 on CBC Radio 1. And hats off to Dave Cameron. He's pulling all the right strings in this series, making the adjustments. He also leans on other coaches from other sports, including the infamous and famous Tom Landry from the Dallas Cowboys. This is a quote he gave us today. A coach is someone who tells you what you don't want to hear, who has you see what you don't want to see, so you can be who you have always known you could be. It's working for the Senators right now, guys.
Sure is. And Montreal Canadiens, here they were, the Bull, thinking, we'll just wander into this nice, comfy China shop here. Whoops. Not quite rampaging on this night. And this series taking on a different dynamic, very much so, with 1 period to go in this game, and Ottawa in control, leading 3-0.
Milan McCulloch starting this period on that number 1 line. It looks like Clark MacArthur still not back on the bench for Ottawa, which would be a significant blow. Sorry.
Puck comes up. Gallagher. Stone comes out with Turris and McCulloch. Stone fires a shot, and that goes up, and just looking down there, and there is no MacArthur. He was great for them earlier on in the series, and he would be missed.
He has been a solid contributor. Milan McCulloch has been up and down the lineup, so they probably feel comfortable, at least for the time being. And he's a good defensive player. They're up 3 in this game. It might not be an issue, but heading forward, Clark MacArthur, a real physical guy, real passionate guy. Leader in that dressing room would be missed as they go into game 6.
3-0 lead gives Ottawa the ability to spread some of their ice time out amongst a lot of different players. Lethot and Carlson play so much, you can maybe take a little bit back in the 3rd period for them.
Borowiecki with Smith-Pelly coming up, hard on him. Borowiecki losing that battle and his stick. Petrie back here to pick it up. Up to Smith-Pelly. Eller steps in over the line. De La Rose with him. Here's Weiss directing it towards the goal. Puck rolls around. Eller not able to recover the puck to get a shot away. This is Weiss. Works it across. Eller up there. He's got it. Eller twisting, turning. Weiss is down in front. He had a good little battle there going with Anderson. Puck comes across. Scores! Gilbert! Great work by Weiss in front. And the Canadiens on the board.
Earlier on the same shift, Weiss gets tied up. Anderson, a nice hack in the back of the legs, get him out of the crease. Puck gets worked over to Tom Gilbert. And Craig Anderson a little bit preoccupied with Dale Weiss still, and Gilbert rips one low glove side. And nice screen from Dale Weiss. Great look at it here. Anderson trying to get down. And did Bobby Ryan maybe get a piece of that? Either way, Montreal got the early one they needed to give themselves a reason to believe.
101 minutes, 44 seconds between goals for Montreal in the series.
Reason to believe. Michael Therrien didn't believe the answer was through Weiss. He had hardly played through the first 2 periods.
I think that absolutely does touch Bobby Ryan's stick right there. Great look. Just clips the top of his blade and gets up and over the glove of Craig Anderson.
So that limiting the ice time idea, that's out the window now.
Markov with a blistering blast there from the left side. Montreal with some jump now. At the side, Pruss muscles it away, tries to wrap around. They jam away at it. Smith will come out for Ottawa. Mitchell. And it's feeding time in the Shark Tank as the Canadians notch it up, riding on a mini jet stream of confidence after that goal to get on the board. Pacioretty up there in pursuit of the puck. Here's Conrad. Puck sipped in on goal, and that is grabbed and held. The shot coming in from Greg Pateryn.
Tom Gilbert, the goal scorer for the Montreal Canadiens. Traffic in front, bothering these very good goalies has been a theme all series long, including tonight. And take a look right here. Does this touch the top of Bobby Ryan's blade? I think you can see the direction of the puck change a little bit. Elevates just over top what would have been a glove save for Craig Anderson. And that's the kind of break that Montreal has been looking for.
Well, the velocity of this shot wasn't sufficient enough that Anderson was going to miss it. So it's one of 2 things, and I think it's, you're right, Mike, it's both. It's the tip, but it's also the screen, the double whammy.
The last time Montreal overcame a 3-0 deficit entering the 3rd period was in October of this season. They were in Philadelphia. They ended up winning 4-3 in a shootout.
And in the first round, the only team to overcome a 3-goal deficit, Nashville, Chicago was their dance partner. And Chicago won the game.
Yemelin pitching up. Here comes Condren. Rising shot. Peugeot over to pick it up. Condren. Lazar coming up there. Desharnais bumped there along the boards. Puck comes to Galchenyuk. To Weiss. Peugeot flips it ahead. Condren trying to close in after it. The stickless Yemelin with a nice play to break that up.
Very good decision. Go down, slide the puck over the blue line. He's pushed the centers behind it.
Puck played in. Weiss up after it, lost his footing. McCulloch moves in, wrist shot, and Subban got a stick on that, and it goes up and out of play.
Well, Dale Weiss has had quite a series. And, you know, the start of the game, Get Low is what he listens to. One of my favorite songs, of course. And what he should be listening to is Get in the Way of Anderson. He might not get an assist on this goal, but he is the one who is directly responsible for Anderson not seeing the puck.
5-on-5, he has been one of the most effective forwards in this series for Montreal.
Here's Pacioretty, who has not been one of the most effective forwards in the series for Montreal, surprisingly.
Not by his standards.
A great gift that John Tortorella gave the Canadians, isn't it?
Here's Gallagher.
Think he could play? Next trick.
Turris got it up ahead. Big chance for Stone. Wheels around. Tries to get it back out there. Stone another swipe at it. And Gallagher settles things down. Dishes up ahead. Puck cleared in by Pacioretty. Eller. Getting it down low. Gallagher buzzing around down there. Puck played back to the line. Back over for Yemelin. Tucks it up ahead. Swing and a miss from De La Rose, but he's right back onto it. De La Rose shoots. Anderson saved and covers it up.
Methot, Brendan Gallagher, new acquaintances. Eller and Carlson have had their share of this all playoffs long. Lars Eller, what a back check here. Not only get there, but to time the stick lift to not take a penalty on what would have been a penalty shot on Mark Stone. And then they get the puck down on the other end, and Montreal putting everything down to the front of the net, trying to create some havoc. And ooh, Delarose almost squeezed that one underneath the stick and underneath Anderson.
Smart move by Gallagher. Get to the front of the net, do exactly what Dale Weiss did. Make it tough for Anderson to see. And then he decides to engage in a battle with Methot. Perfect. Tire him out. He plays a ton of minutes. You get your way, you might get a minor where you're both gone off, and that's advantage Montreal if Methot's not on the ice.
Eller, Delarose, Smith, Pelly out there for Montreal. Draw one a little too cleanly, and Gilbert skates back after it. Best Montreal forward in the game so far, guys. What's your vote?
Think about it, that's the problem.
Offside.
Lars Eller's been good, Dale Weiss has been good. And Brendan Gallagher still trying to find his game, find some offense, but hey, look at a little poke right here. Is that got a little butt end? Mark Methot grabs it before he gets it into the midsection. And those two have had a little kick with the skates. An ongoing battle in front of that crease for Craig Anderson. And two competitors, two physical players trying to establish their position.
So do you actually think if that stick is not in Methot's hand, he's going for the midsection?
I think he's going to actually give him a little poke, yep.
I think he might be going a little further south. To be honest.
He's below the equator, apparently.
That's mid-ish.
Yes.
McCulloch didn't see it. Comes back for Weirkosh. And Gilbert thought about it, and Smith is right on his heels. Chiasson up there after it. Chiasson giving a bump. Gilbert slams on the brakes. The veteran Gilbert out there with the youngster Patterson. Has been the combination most of the time. Puck played in. Flynn up into the corner. Flynn, Prust, and Mitchell out there for Montreal. Smith, oh, he's crunched. Puck comes back out, Markov. Subban gains the line, twisting around, dishes up ahead. Puck played back for Markov. Subban, wrist shot, grab, knocked away, not held by Anderson. Puck steered up, Subban knocks it down. Pass up, Prust had not cleared the zone. And play is called.
You know it's going to be a finish check. If you have the puck along the wall, you have to move it quickly or brace yourself for contact. Zach Smith not quite sure what to do with it. Brandon Prust knows what to do. Finishes them, gets around the front shoulder to not draw a penalty. That leads to more offensive zone time, and then PK Subban wristed on in again. Now it's Prust getting down to the front of the net, causing traffic and bumping Craig Anderson. Oh, right on top of the head as Methot goes down on Gallagher.
Once again, we have another indication of Mike Johnson's favorite play with the goalies from Brandon Prust. Attack the goal stick. Referee right away. I'll call it. Any contact. Well, you didn't call it. There was contact.
But had it gone in, they could always decide to wave it off as a incidental no goal. No goal. The fact there's no goal, they can let it go and play it on.
And then go into the witness protection program because you won't be able to leave the building. Carry on.
Gryba shoots, grabbed and held by Price. Did you do a lot of that, Mike? The old stick interference?
When you could. It was actually that Glenn Healy told me about it, and I practiced it on him in the practices to skate by the net, swipe at his stick, knock him off balance, and if anything, it irritates the goalies.
The Fifth Estate, Saturday night at 8 Eastern time on CBC News Network. That's where you can catch it. Great investigative journalism.
First shot in 9 minutes and 50 seconds for Ottawa.
Weiss taps it across. Galchenyuk, backhand shot. And Anderson with the save. Yenwin skates back, turned it over. Almost, Ryan couldn't quite wheel it in. Comes back out, Hoffman with a shot, big save. Galchenyuk with it. Here's Petrie. Carlson fires it in, tipped in front by Ryan. Wide of the target. Galchenyuk rubbed out there by Zibanejad. Here's Ryan in the corner. Yemelin draped right on him. Petrie plays it up. Batted back into the Montreal zone. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the first period where Ottawa weathered the Montreal storm and then managed to sort of find their feet. Peugeot. Montreal really turning it up after scoring that goal. Some good energy the next few shifts, but Ottawa finding their feet again. Ceci comes in, fires one in. That's parried away by Price. Out of play, and play is called. 12:53 to go in the third period. Good chance for Hoffman. High slot, Price. Solid. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC. Canada's smartest person. What kind of smart are you? Canada's smartest person now accepting applications for its second season. Apply now. Well, if you're in Ottawa and you have tickets, don't make any plans just yet for the weekend. Sunday, note the early start time. 1800 or 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Canadian Senators, Game 6, TBD, to be determined. Zibanejad lost that draw to Eller. Puck played up. De La Rose was looking for it. Here's Smith-Pelly. And he will commit. Smith-Pelly trying to tuck it down towards Eller. Now he's got it. Smith-Pelly shoots. Anderson save and covers it up.
Well, you knew that one guy had to show up and be the best player in the building, and it was the goalie. He was tremendous in the first 7 or 8 minutes when Montreal rattled off 6 shots. Shots were 6-0. Gave his team a chance to get the first goal and looks absolutely unbeatable against the Montreal Canadiens. The only one that went in was one that was tipped by his own team and that he didn't see. A pretty good night. Saving the season for the Sens. Cinderella story not over yet, and the carriage does not turn into a pumpkin. Keeping them alive.
Although I believe when they were down 3-0, Glenn Healy was indicating that perhaps the pumpkin had arrived. Mechanics up for Subban.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, Paul.
Pacioretty shoots. Plekanec. Subban. Plekanec. Pacioretty gets it down. Gallagher looks, fires one, and grabbed and held by Anderson. Here we go. Here we go.
Montreal's throwing everything at the net, and they're going there looking for rebounds, and if they bump into Craig Anderson, they're going to. And Pacioretty does it, gets a stick up on Pajot, and 5-on-3 in down there behind the net as the Montreal Blue Liners are holding their spots at the top of the circle so as to maintain the offensive zone faceoff.
Well, there's not one of the 3 Montreal Canadiens that can dare take a penalty with another guy from the Ottawa Senators, because that would be 2 minutes that Plekanec, Pacioretty would have to sit. And these are the guys that can get you back in the game. Of course, it all instigated by our favorite player, Brendan Gallagher.
Gallagher tries to bank one here on the angle shot, and Pacioretty comes bombing in, takes a little swipe, and then it's a stick and hands up into Pajot's face as he looks to push him out of the way, and pack mentality on both teams comes into play, and everybody in there, in behind, and here, Brendan Gallagher read his lips there after that whole scrum. He was trying to shake off, looked like he got a poke in the eye, and Bobrovsky and Brendan Gallagher have had it going since the drop of puck in Game 1. Those two, and right here, his right eye's kind of swollen shut. He's got to be in the eye, saying, well, anything goes in scrums like that.
Oh, poor Bietzky. He's got the Bobby Clark smile.
He's got the smile.
And that was a little Bobby Clark-ish with the glove right up in the face. Petrie. Desharnais. Here's Mathot. And the puck pops up. And a penalty coming up. And some discussion here.
This all started from a hit earlier on. Weiss puts the puck in his corner. Erik Karlsson, and then tries to send him into another planet. Karlsson doesn't like it. And the rest you can take over, Mike.
The play distance suits the other corner, and there's a little cross check in the back, which Weiss goes down pretty easily. Karlsson can't believe it. He wants to dive. He's not going to get that call right now. And Montreal, if they've ever needed a power play goal in this series, to get them back, it has let them down time and again. But one here would make for an interesting last 10 minutes.
Power play 1 for 19. They've had 2 tonight, 1 shot on goal. Markov works it down. Subban over at the right point. Takes it now. Pacioretty. Gallagher. Puck comes back. Subban fires one, pounded that one. Pacioretty sends it up and around. Plekanec, the other forward, lets it go back for Subban. Over to Markov. Down low. Markov switches off with Subban. Slides it down. Puck fired towards the front. It'll bounce up. Subban chops it up. Gallagher works it around. Plekanec with it now. Markov. Plekanec. Pacioretty. Markov. Subban fires that one. Dropping down to get in front of it was Peugeot. Takes one for the team. Big time. Markov jumping in there. Centers it in front of the net. And it rolls dangerously, precariously through the slot. Puck cleared down the ice. 50 seconds. 5-0 to go in the power play for Montreal. What a block that was by Peugeot. And he labored over to the bench. Subban moves it up. Here's Desharnais. Galchenyuk and Eller, the other forwards right now. Desharnais comes in to Galchenyuk. Works it across. Fires a shot that's blocked by Ceci. Puck given away in front. Galchenyuk shooting. Save. Anderson.
PK Subban has been frustrated and shut down on the power play in large part because Peugeot has had this assignment the entire series. Block this one-timer. He takes that one right on the front of the knee, but he's right in the shooting lane, putting himself in harm's way, and he felt that. Could barely get off the ice, staggered over top of the bench as he takes 135 kilometers an hour into a pretty tender area of his knee.
Here's Subban. Works it over. Petrie. Subban shooting. Rebound. Comes out. Picked up now by Condra. And he gets it out. Subban back to pick it up. Penalized player. Karlsson back onto the ice. Montreal still on the rush. Galchenyuk. Karlsson right on him like a little buzzsaw. Knocked the puck away. Mathot with it. Pass up ahead for Karlsson. Cruising up there. Thrust up for Flynn. He's pulled over by Mathot. Mathot with the puck. Slides it down for McCullough. Here's Petrie. Power play continuing to let Montreal down. 0 for 3 tonight. 3 shots on goal. No goals. And they need a couple of goals to tie this one up, trailing 3-1. When we come back, we'll talk about the Ottawa captain.
We never go out of style. Long hair, slick back, white road shirt. Whoa, look at those shoes. We can get that to Michael Jackson. Estate auction. But he has been a factor all night long. The captain has been steady. And the big shot, 132 kilometers an hour, past Price. This guy is the real deal. Again, I don't know about the shoes, though. They're gone out of style, as far as I'm concerned.
I like them.
Go ahead.
It's too cold for those kind of shoes in here in Montreal today.
Crushed your shoe line. Sorry, bud. I want to tell you that Clark MacArthur, we have word he has a lower body injury, will not return to the game. So rough news for the Ottawa Senators, and adds another plot line to a possible Game 6 of this series without MacArthur, one of their leaders. Plekanec gets it back. Yamamoto fired it. Didn't miss by much. Gilbert over there. Couldn't keep it in. Did you notice any kind of a tweak or an injury?
No, I didn't see anything. I think direct that might have led MacArthur, but you know, it's got to be something pretty significant if he's going to pull himself out of the game. And maybe 2 days to try to get ready until Sunday.
It's hard to predict. When you look at the first 3 games of the series, record-setting in every way for the number of hits and how both teams just disliked each other, filed divorce papers, and couldn't wait to hurt other players. It could be something from those games.
Here's Markov. Smith-Pelly. De La Rose bumps. Eller stepping up there, trying to hold the puck loose. De La Rose comes away with it. Up for Eller. Borowiecki working him over. And with a cross check for good measure, making another one. A little bump along the boards. Here's Eller. Smith-Pelly. Zibanejad all over him. Smith-Pelly turns and just lofts it towards the front. Best option in that case. Eller was there. Here's Ryan. Subban. Hoffman up to buzz him. Now Subban will start off. Lazar knocks it down. Subban gets it over to Gilbert. Galchenyuk worked it over. Sharp angle, Weiss let it go. Desharnais up there looking for it. So too is Galchenyuk, but coming away with it is Condren. Lively bounce off the boards, comes up, picked up in front by Lazar, and he tried to get it to Condren. They just didn't have enough room to work anything. Galchenyuk starting back for Montreal. Quickly up towards the line. Montreal making changes. In comes Gallagher, forging his way to the net. The effort stopped in the circle. Puck bouncing around. Plekanec gets it up. Gallagher shoots. Knocked away.
43 shots for the Montreal Canadiens now.
Gilbert working it hard, trying to create a chance for number 44. He's got it here. Gilbert. Chiasson digs it along the boards and out. Petrie cruising back after it, and that's an icing call.
Not many chances for Ottawa here in the third period as they're trying to protect their lead. Maybe one of their better ones here as Condren Lazar try to hook up in tight, and you're right, Paul, just not enough room to make that kind of pass when you're right on top of Carey Price.
Mitchell wins the drawback. Markov fires one. Comes up along the boards. Here's Subban. Markov wires it. Stop. Rebound. Hops out and is cleared away. That was just what the doctor ordered if you're Montreal. Traffic in front of Anderson. Good shot from Markov. And it's turned over. Big chance. Condren in there. Scores! The turnover at the line, the Condren goal, and we're going to a Game 6.
Good defensive positioning, leads to easy offense. Markov turns it over, trying to drop the Subban, and Erik Condren off to the races, blue line in. Watch him kind of bobble the puck right there freezes Carey Price and wraps it in. Backhand, beats Price to the post. Kind of starts rolling it, mishandles it, and beats Price to the post on a good finish from Eric Condra. And you're right, 4-1. Bend but don't break, defend and be patient. And the Senators bench feeling that one.
The Ottawa Senators took an icing. They thought long and hard about calling timeout. The Montreal counters with their fourth line. Which I know you go with hunches, but that would not be my hunch. Would be to put a more offensive line out with a tired Ottawa group. And the fourth line ends up taking a minus.
How much do you want to play the lines that are creating more 5-on-5, which has been their bottom pair in this series so far for Montreal against the proven offensive players. As Michel Therrien go to the fourth liners trying to get something going.
Yeah, we'll see you Sunday in Ottawa.
Puck comes out, snapped on goal by Eller. Anderson with the save and the smother. A brutal turnover at the line by the Montreal Canadiens. Opened it up for Condra. Big smile on his face after that one. It's 4-1.
Oh, a few days ago, it was so good. But the Montreal Canadiens have found a way after games 3 to kiss it away. Yes, not fully. Everyone was happy when we scored in overtime. Everyone was happy with Subban's shot from the blue line. But tonight, much different faces. The kiss cam has been put away. And the Montreal Canadiens now have a seed of doubt as they go back to Ottawa for Sunday.
Shots on goal in the third period. Montreal 19, Ottawa 4. But Mike, that doesn't surprise you.
Well, that's score effects taking place. You're up 3-0. You're on the road. You're not going to attack. You're going to sit back. And of course, Montreal's going to dominate the shot clock. But again, the score in that regard is just 1-1. So Ottawa's okay with that so far.
Back to the Ottawa Senators, and when their streak began, who'd they play? The Montreal Canadiens. That's what got them into the dance, that final couple months. But a win over Montreal was the catapult for this team to believe.
It was the debut of the Hamburglar, who went on his incredible run and was the spine of that turnaround comeback effort. Stranger Than Fiction, the best in docs, from the documentary channel at cbc.ca/docs. And after an incredible run, Hammond now on the bench, and the man you just saw, Craig Anderson, has stepped into the limelight. Plekanec, Pacioretty, and Gallagher out there for Montreal. Here's Condra. Trying to come out of the corner, shoots, that's stopped. That stick belonging to Subban. He's going to skate over and retrieve it. Ottawa continues to have possession. Turris with the puck. Here's Condra. Turris. Condra. Stone. Back for Carlson. Wrist shot comes in, didn't make it all the way through. Hit Condra in front, I believe. He was battling with Subban. Here's Stone. Turris. Comes in, dropped it back. Stone with a punch shot in on goal, and that was knocked away. Mathot clears it in. Subban. This is Carlson. Hoffman. Up for Ryan. Puck rolls around. Flynn's got it now. Flynn and Mitchell. Yemelin fires one in. Stopped and held by Anderson.
Frustration setting in for the Montreal Canadiens and PK Subban, who has not been able to get his offensive game going. Loses his stick by Eric Condra, and then, well, you know what? If I don't have a stick, I'm going to start running at him. Knocks him down one time. This time again, little shot in the back of the head, then a club to the back of the head, and then a cross check, and Mathieu Subban, nothing going right for him or the Habs tonight.
Here's my Norris Trophy guy. You say we got a chance. That's my style guy.
Petrie trying to get it through. Smith comes out. And again, if you've been channel surfing, peeking in the other game, wondering where Clark MacArthur is, left the game, lower body injury, and not returning. Chiasson. Yevlin moving up. Gets by Petrie, and he'll skate back after. Yevlin plays it over. Flynn coming up hard after it. Stone. Mitchell swings in. Bumping there with Greiva. Puck comes all the way around to the left point. Over there to knock it down is Markov. And Stone is there to stop him at the blue line. And back behind the play. Right down in front of Anderson. Look out.
It all started with a spear by Prust. And then Anderson decided to take matters into his own hand.
Ottawa obviously going to get in there. Anyone gets near Craig Anderson at this point, everyone's got to pile on. And now you got Subban rolling around with Greiva in a wrestling match. Shirt over top of his head. Anderson wisely way out of harm's way. Get into the other corner. Get me out of here. That's exactly where Ottawa wants to see him. Nobody within 50 feet of him.
Kevin Pollock was wise right away. He went to Anderson.
Get him out of there.
Said,
yeah,
don't get involved.
Subban doing a lot of talk with Zach Smith on the way to the dressing room. If anything.
All started with a spear. Front of the net.
Brandon Prust gets the front. Little touch there, and then a jab to the midsection. It's go time, Craig Anderson. You know what?
That was just a hack fest.
You cannot engage the goalies like that. You know, Glenn, we've had a good time. I don't mind bumping and loose pucks, but you can't turn around and a little tap there. You can't spear him in the midsection, but Brandon Prust, not twice, not 3 times. Carey Price was on his way to the bench thinking a power play was coming up.
It was, you have a spear. Okay, well, you have a hack. Well, you have another spear. Here's a harder hack.
Yeah, but you can't do that with goalies. You can do that within amongst players, and Brandon Prust will be leaving the game because of it. Bobby Ryan out there talking to Craig Anderson. If anything, trying to encourage him to cool down and see what kind of language he's got for the team. Zibanejad, everybody else having a little chatter on the way off. But it's all smiles on Ottawa's bench and not so much from Montreal. Michel Therrien's got to be thinking, where do I go from here?
You know, I want to say we saw Cameron just a moment ago. He has been such, he's not right now, but a lighthearted guy to be around throughout this series. Just always trying to keep it light. Let's listen.
I hated the Habs. My 4 brothers cheered for Montreal. Dad and I, Toronto. My mother, Boston. Sister, she didn't care.
Good morning. It's my first time I get the feeling on the shark-infested waters.
Are we in a rush today? I'd like to start with 78 F-bombs.
You know what? He put on a clinic this morning. Just the right mix of confidence, some humor, enjoying the moment, embracing where they were as a team in this building, in this city, and his team has certainly taken his cue and played the way he felt this morning.
You know, if you haven't been following the series that closely, you see the little lapel pin he has on. That's for Mark Reeds, who is not only an assistant coach, but a dear friend. And it's one of those things, you know, if you've experienced it in life, you lose somebody who's close to you, and I just think it alters your perspective, whether it's long-term or short-term. But he has really brought this is important, we want to win, but let's keep things in perspective, and he's had a wonderful sense of humor. This is a guy who's coaching a team down 3 games to nothing, and he still kept it light and kept it positive, and full marks to him. And I know they're trying to do a lot of it in memory of their friend and former assistant coach Mark Reeds. Just under 2 minutes to go. 4-1 lead for Ottawa. And offside.
Okay, so let's go 50 feet away and take a look at Michel Therrien. Now this is as the puck is dropped. Play's going on in the neutral zone. He did not even look at the play. A lot different than Dave. But the frustration is clearly there for the Montreal Canadiens. Up 3-0. You need just one goal in game 4. They didn't get it, and now they got a tiger by the tail.
It's funny in the world of sports how reverses can suddenly turn into forward accelerations. Down 3 games to nothing on the mat. Here's Ottawa set to go back home for game number 6. Hoffman tries to fire one through. Under a minute to go, Ottawa on the power play. Hoffman worked it across. Hoffman shoots, scores. Whew. And just past the salt, rub a little more in. 5-1.
Mike Hoffman, the hero from game number 4, the only goal in that one. Well, he puts little something on this. He can really shoot the puck. Good setup from Zibanejad, and why not? Through traffic, been the theme all night. Flex, kick, and go. And Carey Price beat 5-1 now, and it's been a couple games in a row now that Craig Anderson has outplayed Carey Price. 2013, these two teams played in the playoffs. Craig Anderson was magnificent. Ottawa won 4-1. Anderson with a .950 save percentage as the underdog Senators beat the higher-seeded Montreal Canadiens. He stepped in after game 2 of this series, was going to have to beat Montreal 4 out of 5 games. Well, he just did it 2 years ago. Can he do it again this year? Well, he's 2 wins, half the way there, sending his team back to their home ice for game 6 on Sunday.
Montreal needs an answer for Anderson. They do.
They really do.
46 to 25 are the shots. If you're Montreal, you're thinking, well, we played a pretty darn good game, didn't we? 46 shots, don't get that often. But they can't get an answer for Anderson, and they don't have an answer for why their power play stinks.
Hey guys, ironically, the last time Carey Price gave up 5 goals in a game was against Ottawa on March the 12th. Here's Lazar. Eller. And Eller, a little gritty there with Zach Smith, and the linesman getting in between them. We're in the final few seconds of this one. What a job by the Ottawa Senators as they come in. Playoff hopes facing elimination, and they pull a big rabbit out of the hat with a 5-1 win over Montreal in Montreal. We're back to Ottawa for game 6.
Craig Anderson has been the story the last couple games. He was terrific when he had to be early in this game. He made the saves when Montreal made their push, let his team get that first goal, get some confidence, work their way in this game. And I know the shots were lopsided. A lot of that had to do with the early lead they got. But now they're going back to Ottawa, full of confidence, belief in a goalie that has got Montreal's number, even though Lars Eller, Zach Smith, right to the very end of this game as the chippiness continues. But it's all smiles for Ottawa as they get 2 and they force game 6.
Looking forward to that. Final score tonight, a 5-1 win. Ottawa against Montreal. We have ourselves a series. George?
Thank you, Paul Romanek, Mike Johnson, Glenn Healy as well. So that game of final on CBC. Over on Sportsnet, we are waiting for another overtime to start between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers. Rangers could eliminate the Pens tonight. And on Sportsnet 360, with the series tied at 2 after that massive performance by the St. Louis Blues offense, they're scoreless in the first period on 360. Here's the South in the room comment that Paul Romanek made. The 5th goal. That's the reaction from the fans gathered at the Canadian Tire Center. They can be there on Sunday for Game 6.